If we lived in a world of unlimited availability of resources, at a cost we determined, our ability to deliver projects successfully would be greatly increased. However, that is not the world we live in, so we have to learn to deliver projects with our resources constrained. Generally, the resource that will cause the most problems is our labor resource. As project managers, we have to learn to use our labor resources in the most effective manner and deliver the project on schedule as agreed or contracted with the customer. We do this through a technique called resource leveling. So what is resource leveling and how do we use it? According to the Project Management Book of Knowledge, resource leveling is a technique used to adjust the project schedule based on resource availability and resource demand. Generally, the start and finish dates of specific activities are adjusted based on resource availability. The development of the final project schedule is an iterative process. Resource leveling will cause development of the project schedule to be a progressive and iterative process. You will want to design your initial project schedule based on the most efficient delivery of the project to establish a starting point. Loading the resources necessary to accomplish the project scheduled activities will give you your first look at the demand on specific project team members. Resource loading your project schedule involves indicating the resources needed or assigned to complete each activity. You will ultimately find that some of your team members are double scheduled in a specific time period on the schedule. For example, team member Jordan is scheduled to design the user interface and the system backup code on your information technology project at the same time. Jordan is the only team member that has the knowledge and skills to perform these two activities, and obviously cannot do both successfully at the same time. The technique of resource leveling is how you deal with this type of schedule conflict. You will need to move one of the activities, backup code design for this example, to a time period after Jordan completes the user interface design activity. Resource leveling will always extend your schedule and will, in most cases, change the critical path for the project. The critical path is the longest path through your project and thus represents that series of activities that must be completed on schedule or the final project delivery will be affected. The iterative nature of project scheduling and resource leveling are part of what makes project management as much an art as it is a science. You will also find this same resource constraint issue when multiple projects are involved. The technique of resource leveling becomes more complicated when attempting to schedule one key resource across multiple projects. While it can be done successfully, you will want to have documented resource commitments for support of your project if you do not directly manage that resource. You will normally find that projects have resource constraints, particularly when it comes to labor resources. A project management method called resource leveling is used to manage resource constraints. Resource leveling is a technique used to adjust the project schedule based on resource availability and resource demand. You will initially schedule your project in the most efficient manner and resource load the project schedule. Through an iterative process, you will adjust the scheduled activities to eliminate any issues of having resources simultaneously assigned to multiple activities. As you go through the resource leveling process, you will find that the schedule is extended and likely your critical path will change. The iterative nature of project scheduling and resource leveling are part of what makes project management as much an art as it is a science.